Okay, that was an okay episode in my mind. It wasn't bad, but I was thinking that the game, was going to heat up, especially since they need to start getting rid of more people, but instead they had this episode waste the remaining days that they could afford to waste, so now they're in a position where they have to get rid of 5 people in 5 days. That's going to be crazy. Next episode, supposedly only 2 people will go, Halloween, so I don't know if we're going to get to day 36 and see the legacy advantage. I'll discuss a little bit of that at the end. So everyone comes back from tribal, and there's really not too much to discuss, except that quite a few people, although I forget exactly who was saying, "Oh yeah, we're gonna be together and we're in trouble." But I'm like, nah, that's not gonna work anymore. The way that this cast has been acting, I really do not think that that's going to happen. Because think back at Cambodia, they did pretty much the same style here, and Kimmy, flipped on Jeremy Spencer. Tasha right at the end. Tasha was kind of unexpected to go back to Jeremy. Spencer kept doing both sides. Yeah, so I could tell that it wasn't going to be that simple. Maybe for this episode, but not beyond that. Then that loved one visit. That was a nice loved one to visit. It didn't actually make me very depressed, even though I think that they did spend a little more time than necessary showing everyone, but to be fair, there's more people than usual, so maybe I'm just complaining. Right. Jay, I'm winning that challenge. Not too much reaction, except I did begin to root for him right at the end, because he had been in the forefront for most of that challenge, and even though Zeke did get pretty close at the last obstacle, I was like, you know what? Let's just have someone who is ahead win this, because I think someone pulling the upset will upset a lot of people, yeah. Plus, as Donald Ross argues a lot of the time, you don't want to be winning the loved one reward. Yeah. Although it was interesting how this episode it actually didn't matter at all, because once his allies are gone and then the target goes off him for one trouble, Jay, yeah. It's going to be real interesting to see what the heck he's going to do later on. Now, because now in many ways he's an extra vote. Sure, he does have 2 people on the jury, but 2 people out of 10? Right, so his choices, I didn't have the hugest reactions to them, because he had promised him, and the bonds that are going on between a couple people there, that made sense. Adam, well, it is a nice way to give it back to him, especially since Adam was the unexpected one to go on the reward. And there's a lot of discussion as to whether or not there was a strategy to him not using the advantage, and then him playing the idol, even though many people argue that it's wasted, stating that it might actually help his game. Rob and Steven get into that on the know-it-alls thing about a quarter of the way in. You might have to listen up to the 17-minute mark to get everything. If you haven't listened to that portion, I really think you should. Yeah, because we're going to have to be hearing a lot from Adam, because I had been predicting that his idol was going to have to matter somehow, and, since he plays it completely unannounced when he had immunity, yeah. Okay, next little bit. Then Will begins to drop a couple of hints, that he wants to stop being used a lot, and I had said a couple of times earlier in this season that I didn't want to keep my eye on him, and since he's the only person this season to not have his name written down, that does mean that we should examine him a little bit, although, as everyone keeps saying, Adam will probably get a good amount of credit for on the blind side this episode than he will, which is a bit of a bummer, because he's like, I want to break out of my shell and actually get some credit for doing something. Well, he has been doing some stuff, because, he did have to be convinced to vote for who was the chick that went in episode 2? Now, Mari, I think her name was, but out of the 3 quote-unquote swing votes, he was the most obvious one to be going into that area, so, he's mattered, although I do get that it can be seen that he's been playing more of a game to go to the end, and him being ignored as much as he is actually is not helping him. But it's not like Fabio in my mind, because like Fabio was talked about, but he was sort of pushed aside. It wasn't like people were forgetting about him, even though ironically, the moment all of those guys voted out Benry, I was like, I don't know, I really think you should have done Fabio, and I was right. Yeah. But I don't think that's exactly what's going to be happening with him. Not to say that he can't pull some moves, but given this group, I really don't think he's going to win this game. I can see him getting to the end, definitely, but win? Nah. Right. That immunity challenge, no comment, except I did kind of think it would be Adam at the end, because, like, for crying out loud, Adam had 3/4 of his bar, Jay had, like, that much left. It was obvious it was going to go... come on. Okay. So then, Ken begins to get featured again in the, what is Will going to do dynamic, and like, I was just burying my face while he was doing all that. I'm just like, dude, you're not doing yourself any favors here, man. I mean, like, sure, you've got the legacy advantage, and I bet that you're going to survive one of the two tribals next episode, but just... Come on, dude, you were given that for a reason, and if your sole purpose of having this is just to give it to Adam, because if he gets voted out, that's probably who he's going to give it to, just... Ken, man. You have potential to matter here, but you're not really doing it, yeah. Now I think I know the reason why we didn't really heal anything for him for 4 or 5 straight episodes, yeah. And, any mentioning about what Zeke was doing? I can't really think of it, to be honest. So at the tribal, it was definitely nice to hear what was going on in people's minds, but of course Adam playing that idol stole the thunder, yeah. Oh yeah, David! Forgot to mention him. Actually, given how they didn't really talk about him that much, maybe there's not that much to mention. I don't know. I want to see what this guy's going to do. I really want to know. Right. So Adam plays the idol for Hannah, and I could tell when Zeke went that he played it correctly, although it didn't matter, but as everyone seems to be predicting, Adam's probably going to get a lot more of a shiny moment. So Zeke going, that did leave a bit of a hole in the season, but there's still a good amount of gameplays left here, and this is going to be kind of interesting, because since Zeke was in many ways the glue holding that 5-sum together, suddenly people might actually be vying for those people's votes, because, you got Brett and Sunday who are together, you've got Jay, who, could be a friend in the game, to be turned on or use. Will's a free agent, huh? In many ways, one could argue that Zeke actually going might actually help those guys. I don't know, that'll be real interesting to see and test that theory out. I think that's all I can mention for this, so later.